Today we're going to do an updated 2018 governor election prediction. So when we're looking at this map, nobody really wants to see me click through a number of states that are already going to go a certain way. Right now, we already know that a number of these rated states by the political pundits are probably going to end up in a certain political party. There's no point in talking about Nebraska, Wyoming, and South Dakota when we could be talking about Wisconsin, Michigan, and Illinois. So we have 14 toss-up states rated by me. Some of these states were already in a certain political party's column, like New Hampshire or Minnesota or Illinois or Colorado or New Mexico. But right now, I'm going to put these in the toss-up column just so we can talk about them for a tad bit. So Maryland, I want to come back to because that is my home state. I'll probably talk about it for a while. Right now, with Rick Scott leaving the office in the state of Florida, we could likely see a Democratic victory here, only because I understand Rick Scott is popular. But right now, Democrats have a number of factors on their side. When it comes to the United States Senate, it may not be so much on their side, mainly because they have a popular governor running there. They don't have this governor running for re-election. The power of the incumbency is long gone. And also, when we talk about popular governors, by that ruling, Ohio would no longer be a toss-up state because of John Kasich's popularity. Yet somehow, Ohio has become a toss-up state after a very popular Republican governor is leaving office. As soon as that incumbency factor is taken away, the state all of a sudden becomes a toss-up. In Florida, with a whole new wave of voters, with a blue wave coming in 2018, we could likely see the state going to the Democrats, New Mexico included. That one is probably going to be a pickup, probably one of the first pickups of the night for the Democrats, along with Colorado with a mildly popular incumbent and also remaining its Democratic identity. I don't know why I had to click through it like 7 times. But right now, Alaska, I actually see going to the Republicans, and it's not going to be by a narrow margin. I see it by a likely margin, only because right now the Democratic candidate, Mark, from the senator from Alaska, he is running on the Democratic primary. The incumbent governor dropped out of that race because he knows he would lose the primary, assuming that's why he dropped out. There would be no other reason to. And he's moving into the independent column so he can run as an independent, which ultimately would split the party vote between the former senator and independent candidate, independent incumbent, who also has a very high disapproval rating, which is not something good for the Democrats or independents, which would likely give the Republicans a win either by a plurality or a small majority, but it would still be enough to show us a likely win over the Democrats. Right now, Illinois I also see going to the Democratic Party, again by a narrow margin, but New Hampshire we probably would see going to the Republicans, again likely, but Maine overturning with a mildly unpopular incumbent could rile out some voters to support the opposition party in a Democratic wave year. It could likely flip. Connecticut right now, that one I see as a pure toss-up along with Maryland. But Ohio right now, Richard Cordray is actually leading in opinion polls, which is pretty interesting here. Right now, I do think Mike DeWine will narrowly take it at the end of 2018, but Ohio is a pure toss-up as well. I do see Larry Hogan carrying the state of Maryland again. I'm looking at these opinion polls, and he's leading by 19 to 30%. And Ben Jealous, yes, I understand he's a progressive. He's also a Democrat. He could make up the margin with a number of undecided voters, but right now we're not seeing that data. Before I had Ben Jealous winning, but that was only if he was able to corral a number of voters behind him. Only 1 out of his 9 primary opponents showed up to his unity rally, and that was the 4th place finisher. Not even the 2nd place or 3rd place finisher came in and supported him for the governorship, and also a number of statewide officials have refused to endorse Ben Jealous, some of them even noting high taxes as a reason why not, which also plays against the whole socialist view of Ben Jealous. So 5 states left. Not new Nevada, that's interesting. We'll come back to... Let me turn off my volume. Wisconsin, we could see going to Scott Walker for another third term, my bad. By a narrow margin, I do see Scott Walker narrowly winning there. But in Michigan, with an unpopular Republican incumbent, I see this state flipping. Minnesota is going to remain in its Democratic identity. Connecticut, this is where I had a pure toss-up. Right now, I do see it narrowly remaining in the Democratic Party. I looked at the opinion polling, and it doesn't seem like the Democratic candidate is polling around the same numbers as the governor is, obviously, with the governor having a 25% approval rating. So right now, the Democrats would carry Connecticut and Nevada again. In a Democratic wave year, I do narrowly see the Democrats carrying the state of Nevada, finishing off our map at 22 Democrats and 28 Republicans. So this video was a tad rushed. When we go down to August, I will, of course, have a more extensive governor prediction with all the states filled in, starting off blank instead of starting off with a number of Republican and Democratic states. But right now, 22 Democrats, 28 Republicans. I believe this is 6 more than what they had leading into these elections. So pretty good news for Democrats, but also Republicans holding on to key liberal states. Thank you guys for watching this video. Comment down suggestions below, and I'll see you all later today.